All right, so here we go. We're going to move on to actually the last two skills of our mental toughness module. And I'm going to start by kind of introducing what these two skills have in common. So both of these skills, we're going to talk about mental games, and then we're going to do a skill called RTR, real-time resilience. Both of these skills are used when it's go time, right? There is a task at hand. There is something that requires your full attention. You got to be composed. You got to be on your A game. But you got all these counterproductive thoughts rattling around upstairs. Your mind is pulling you off your A game, and it's go time. You can't be distracted. You've got to be clear-headed. You got to be precise. You got to be confident, competent. So we're going to teach two skills that allow you to end that mental chatter. Put that mental chatter to bed so that you are confident and composed and ready to go. All right. So mental games, you'll see, is where we just change the focus of what you're thinking. In mental games, we're not taking those counterproductive thoughts head on. Instead, we're kind of just changing the channel of what we're thinking so that we can relax and be ready to go. So we'll do that one first. The next one, and that's at the top of our pyramid, remember, this is probably the most complex skill that we teach in mental toughness, is real-time resilience. Now we're not just changing the channel of what we're thinking, we're saying bring it. We're saying to our own counterproductive part of our brain, we're saying bring it. I'm going to hear that counterproductive thought and I'm going to annihilate it. Two skills. All right, so let's go. We're going to start with mental games. Mental games is going to build self-regulation. Go ahead and give a circle to self-regulation. One of our basic resilience competencies. You'll see how when you're engaged in mental games, you are regulating your thinking. You are in charge of where your mind goes. So it's going to build self-regulation. The goal of these mental games is to compartmentalize. So you got that mental chatter going on. You're going to compartmentalize it. You're going to make sure it doesn't bleed on and spill into other thoughts, other thinking. You also are going to learn how to distract yourself away from thoughts that are distracting you. It's kind of a funny way to say it. Let me say it again. You're going to learn how to distract yourself from any counterproductive thoughts you have that are taking you off your A game so that you're in charge of your thoughts and you're making sure your thoughts are going to prepare you for success. Okay. Finally, mental games are just a quick solution. You'll see as we go through this, we're not problem solving. We're not looking for icebergs. We're not looking at thought themes. All we're doing with mental games is changing the channel of our thinking so that we can engage competently with the task at hand. All right. Well, let's talk about the principles of mental games. We're going to demonstrate this in just a couple minutes, but let me just talk about what we're after here. Mental games need to, number one, they have to require your full attention. So let me ask you, why? Why do you think these games have to demand your full attention? What do you think about that?
Because of the game that you're playing, you're giving your full attention, then you don't have any time to think about anything else.
Spot on. Perfect answer. If these games require your full attention, then you can't be doing the mental games and also have all that other mental chatter going on. Exactly right. So they have to require your full attention, which means they need to be hard. So the next bullet point says they must be hard and fun. Well, they got to be hard because if they're hard, they're going to require your full attention. Why fun? Why do you think these games ought to be fun? Yeah.
Because if it's not fun, nobody's going to want to do it.
Exactly. If it's not fun, you're not going to do it. So we want these games to be hard so that they require your full attention, fun so that you're willing to engage them. And lastly, they've got to be games that you can engage in and sort of complete within a couple of minutes. Why? Why do they have to be quick activities, quick games? Yeah.
So you can get back to the problem at hand.
Yeah, there's a task at hand. There's something that requires your attention. So to First Sergeant Smith's point, if they're not quick, you're not going to be able to re-engage with the thing that needs you. So those are the principles. Full attention, hard and fun, and they got to be quick. All right, so let's look at a few. We'll try some of these out together. So remember, you use these when you got some counterproductive thoughts, pulling you off your A game, and there's a task at hand that requires you to act. It's go time. It's go time. So here are a bunch. And look, the goal of this, folks, is just to try a bunch of them out and stick with the ones that work for you. Not all of these mental games work for everyone. So the first one, count back from 1,000 by sevens. Now this is one that doesn't work for me because I go like this. I go, I got this. 993. Stupid. Wait, so if it's got to end in sevens, it's a 3. So it's going to end in a 6. I can't, damn it. What is it? 1,000. I can't even count back by, I just start, what does this do to me? It frustrates me. I start having more counterproductive thoughts because I'm not able to get past 993. Anybody want to give this one a try? No. No. All right, let's move on then. Alphabet games. So another one is to go through the pairs of the alphabet, go through the alphabet letters in pairs, and come up with a well-known person for each pair. I'll get it started. You guys will see what I mean. You'll jump in. So, A-B, Annette Bening. B-C,
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal. C-D,
Charles Darwin.
Charles Darwin. Very nice. D-E,
Dwight Eisenhower.
Dwight Eisenhower. E-F,
Ella Fitzgerald.
Ella Fitzgerald. F-G, let's keep going.
Frank
Gifford. H-I, G-H, G-H. Goldie Hawn. H-I. Hawaii, just roll with it. I-J, I-J.
Impossible.
I-J, we got this one.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. One more, J.K., J.K. John Kennedy. All right, so that, you guys, I could see, we were all working hard. It was fun. It required our full attention. So that's a great mental game. You can't be doing that and simultaneously be having all that counterproductive stuff rattling around in your brain. Good. Another one is category games. Just picking a category and naming as many examples of that category as you can in 2 minutes. So the category could be sports figures, war heroes, basketball players, vegetables, doesn't matter what the category is. But you're going to name a category and see as many examples of that category that you can get out within 1 or 2 minutes. Army alphabet, repeating it backwards. Anybody want to give that a try?
Go forwards.
Forwards, well, nice. Lyrics, repeating upbeat, circle the word upbeat if you don't mind, upbeat song lyrics. So sometimes people find it really helpful to sort of quiet that mental chatter by rehearsing or singing out loud, if appropriate, some upbeat song lyrics. Why am I keep hitting on that word upbeat? Why do you think I'm stressing upbeat song lyrics? Yes, Sergeant Garner.
Because you don't want to depress yourself more.
Absolutely. I mean, if the song that you're reciting to yourself, to Sergeant Garner's point, is depressing, all you're doing is bringing your mood down, and all that counterproductive thoughts, they're probably just going to increase. So you got to be thoughtful about which song lyrics you repeat. Good. And then positive imagery is another one. Right? A lot of you have been trained in positive imagery techniques. They're great. And the more detailed the image, so the more you think about the sights, the sounds, the smells, who was with you. I mean, really getting into a very detailed mental picture that brings positive emotion, the better. Because what that is, that detailed mental picture crowds out all that counterproductive thinking. And the more detailed the picture is, the more it's requiring your full attention, the harder it is to get all of the details. And so that aspect of being detailed is really important. Okay, so those are just examples of mental games. This is obviously not all the mental games someone could engage in. So does anybody have an example of a mental game that you use when you have some counterproductive thoughts and maybe there's a task that requires your attention? Anybody have one they want to share with the group?
Well, I just seem to find them games kind of silly.
So what do you do when you're having a hard time sleeping or there's a task at hand? What do you use?
I'll usually do something like Angry Birds.
Angry Birds. Okay, so how many of you use something like Angry Birds or something else like? Yeah, those are great. So I think it requires your full attention. It's hard. It's fun. It's quick. The only advantage that these games might have over something like Angry Birds is that all of these games you can do in the privacy of your own mind, right? So when you don't have a smartphone with you or a computer with you and you need to deal with counterproductive thoughts, games like these are portable in that way. Any other questions that folks have? Yeah, Sergeant Delgado.
Are there guidelines for creating your own mental games?
Good. So let's review the guidelines because these are really important to make sure that the skill works. So number one, they must require your full attention. And as Sergeant Garner said, if it's requiring your full attention, you can also be consumed by these counterproductive thoughts. The second guideline is these mental games need to be hard but fun. And as Sergeant Lemkool said, they got to be fun because if they're not fun, nobody's going to use them. And the third sort of principle or guideline is they must be games or techniques that you can do within a couple of minutes. And as First Sergeant Smith said, that's important because there's a task at hand that requires your attention. So you can't be off doing these games for 45 minutes. What other questions do you guys have? Sergeant Hampton.
Yes, these mental games, aren't they just Band-Aids? They don't really solve any problems, do they?
Okay, so Sergeant Hampton's point, a very keen one, is aren't these just Band-Aids? I mean, they're not solving any problems. And I agree with you, Sergeant Hampton. I mean, and sometimes a Band-Aid is all you need, right? I mean, sometimes all you need to get yourself through a situation is a Band-Aid. So you're right. They're not solving the problem of, well, why do I have these counterproductive thoughts? Or what's going on for me that I might really need to think through more deeply? They're designed, just as you said, to be a stopgap or a Band-Aid, something that changes your mental outlook long enough that you can engage effectively with the task before you. Good. All right, that was a nice overview of mental games. Now you're going to practice this with your MRT.